5, 4, 3, 2. Hey everyone, welcome back to a special edition episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, San Diego Comic-Con 2019. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What is going on, Ant?
The usual, except not really.
What? Yeah, you're fresh off the rails.
I'm off the rails already. Because the last time we had a show, it was before I went to China. So we're talking.
Oh yeah, that's
weeks.
right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so I have been to China and back.
Good.
I have been to San Diego and back. And at some point, I managed to get back on my time zone. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
Well, that's good. Will San Diego have a different time zone? I don't think so, right?
No, San Diego doesn't have a different time zone, but I barely had a chance to recover from China before I had my guest come out to come to San Diego with me.
How long? Well, first of all, how long were you home before you headed to San Diego?
4 days.
All right, not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely could have been a lot worse. But the good news is, you know what? I survived it.
You did.
I also survived Comic-Con, which was great.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to take a break from the norm because we finally have first-hand account. You know, San Diego Comic-Con, I don't know, what, 30 years or something like that? No, maybe longer?
50.
Yeah, you know,
50. This was the 50th anniversary.
I thought I heard 50, but I'm like, no, they couldn't have had Comic-Cons 50 years ago. It wasn't even invented till the 90s. But no.
50 years ago, I think it was called Minicon or something like that, and they only had like a handful, like it was a very, very small thing.
Yeah.
They only had a handful of things going on, and then over the years, it grew and grew and grew, and now it has grown to the point where it's its own monster, and they need to start reining it in my opinion. But we'll get to that later.
Yes, I can't wait to talk about that part of it. But first, let's talk about, after all these years, it's no secret, and you know, between the two of us, you're the big comic book guy. I'm not into comic books. I mean, I respect them, I understand them, I like the movies, but you're into comics.
Yes.
And the person that you brought with you is probably the only other person on the planet you can possibly bring to a convention like this who will lose his mind, as he probably did. And we're talking about our buddy Frankie.
Yeah, so Frankie flew out from New Jersey to join me for Comic-Con. And yes, if there's anybody who's a bigger fan of comics than me, it's got to be him. I mean, he's like we're on our way there, and he's literally throwing names out at me. He's like, "Oh my God," he's like, "I can't wait. I want to get this. I'm going to get this from this guy, and I'm going to get this from this guy." And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people. Who are these people? He's like, these are the artists and everything like that. I was like, I can give you actors in movies. I can give you directors. That part I got down. When it comes to comic books, sadly, except for the really well-known artists, I really don't know the names. So he knew exactly where he wanted to go. So he was like, all right, I'm going to go get a commission from this guy and this girl and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I was very happy he had a plan.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is great.
He's very meticulous like that because, you know, out here in New York, we would go to New York Comic-Con, and he's just like, first of all, you only see him for about 27 seconds once you're inside the convention hall, because then, like a child, he just takes off without telling you where he's going.
Well, I did warn him before we walked in there. I was like, do I need to get you a leash? I'll get a child leash for you. And
someone put a bell on him.
He's like, no, don't worry. He's like, I won't run off. And I'll be honest with you. No, I mean, he was very well behaved.
Yes.
Thank you, Frankie, for being well behaved. No, I mean, he was really cool. He hung around for a while. I mean, at some points, or at most points, we split off because he wanted to do his thing, I wanted to do mine.
Of course.
And it was perfectly fine. I mean, the place is huge. There's no way to cover everything together, or it would take too long. So a lot of times we split off. He definitely walked the floor way more than I did, even though the first day we were there, I don't know, we were there for like 7 hours.
Oh, wow. You were. Yeah. When you texted me later on in the day, I was like, you guys are still there? You're still there?
Yeah, no, and trust me, no, they were like, I'm not kidding you. Like, let's just get into it really quickly. Okay, somewhere between 160 to 170,000 people crammed into a convention center for 4 days. Okay, just imagine that. Now, granted, the San Diego Convention Center, I've never seen a bigger convention center.
Oh, it is.
This place is beyond massive. Beyond massive. But still, you're talking about 170,000 people basically within a 3-block radius.
Oh, wow.
You know, because you're talking about the convention center and then the Gaslamp Quarter nearby, which is where like all the restaurants were and everything like that. And then there are the outdoor events that are set up too.
Okay.
So there's tons to do. There are tons of panels. Like, I'm not kidding you. I wish I had my book nearby. I don't want to run and go get it, but I'm not kidding you. The event book, just events going on at Comic-Con, was about this thick.
Wow.
I mean, and we're talking newspaper print with little paragraphs of everything going on. There were easily 50 to 60 things going on every half an hour.
Multiple panels, I'm sure.
Panels, events, just all kinds of things going on. There was an event I tried to get into, but that's a whole other story about why I didn't get into it. They were doing board games in rooms.
Oh, really?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, they were doing board games. And they were playing a game I didn't even know existed, and it was done by Steve Jackson, the guy who did Munchkin, which is an awesome game.
Okay.
Awesome board game. But they did a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure board game, and I wanted to play it.
That's cool.
And I wanted to play it. I was like, that sounds awesome. I want to go play it. But the game started at 9 a.m. The con didn't open until 9:30, and security didn't know what the hell they were doing. So when I went over to go to the room that it was in, the convention room that it was in, they're like, "Oh, only professionals are allowed through here." And I'm like, "Well, there's an event starting at 9 a.m. I want to go to. Here it is in the program, and it's right there. That's why I need to go through."
Yeah.
No, you got to go around the other way. And then I go around the other way, and there's no way to get there. So I go down there, and I'm like, "Well, I want to get to this." Oh, no, you got to go upstairs from there. I was like, she sent me down here.
Oh, boy.
Needless to say, I didn't get it.
No,
I didn't get it. Which was fine. There were plenty of other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I know we're video gamers. We want to talk gaming. Right. My first stop, when I go to a convention, I go comics. That's where I go. Which is kind of traditional, considering the fact that Comic-Con has pretty much become synonymous with television and film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure anybody who's been paying attention, all the major studios made announcements. Marvel announced their whole Phase 4 lineup.
MarvelCon,
Yeah, you got you got updates on what's going on television. Every other studio weighing in on stuff. So there's an unbelievable amount of information that's getting channeled through this place. Mm-hmm. But for me, I'm a big comic book collector. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I have a ton of comics. I wanted to go comic shopping, so I did. Okay. And the problem with comic shopping at a convention is that a lot of vendors tend to mark it up.
Oh God, yes.
Because they know you're at the convention, and you're just getting involved in, it's the heat of the moment type of thing. You're impulse buying. You're there. It's in front of you. You want it. You buy it. So, I was going through, so I walked through all of the vendors, checked out some stuff. I managed to find a few good deals, which made me very happy. And again, I'm not looking for, when I go comic shopping, I'm almost like retro comic shopping.
Okay. So, you got your list with you for trying to get that collection going?
Yeah. I have my app with me, CLZ Comics. And basically filling in back issues for my favorite runs. Okay. So that's what I did. I bought a bunch of comics to fill in. I got a couple of key issues. I got the Death of Jean Grey and the Dark Phoenix saga, which was really cool. Okay. So I got a handful of stuff at what I thought was a decent price. So I walked out happy on the comic end.
Good.
Which was good. And then after that, it's really like, depending on what you want to do. I wasn't interested. Again, this was my first con. I wasn't interested in going to the panels per se, because the lines for the panels start the minute the doors open.
Oh, forget about it.
It doesn't matter what time the panel's at.
So you are probably the only person I know that's been now to both San Diego and New York Comic-Con. Now, I get New York Comic-Con physically is smaller, though it's starting to become as important and as popular as San Diego. But as far as that lineup where you're herded outside, then you're herded inside, and then the doors open, then you're herded one more time to another section before you're allowed loose on the floor. Is that the same thing in San Diego as it's like in New York?
Well, yeah, kind of similar. They had a couple of things going on. First, in the beginning, it seemed very organized. In the beginning, when we first got there, because they let you inside before open to go up to the second level if you needed to get your badge, and they gave you your bag and your books, the souvenir stuff, right?
Okay.
You were able to get that right away. If you wanted to get into the convention first, there was a line on that second floor that you could stand in, and they would let those people into the convention hall first.
Okay.
Fine. No problem. In terms of outside, there are numerous doors, and they're labeled like they're like section A or entrance A all the way down to, I think, G or H. Mm-hmm. And within each section, there are like, I don't know, 6 or 8 doors, and they're very clearly marked: enter, exit. Straightforward, right? One, entrance A was for people with disabilities and stuff like that. Like, everything seemed really cool. So on Thursday, Frankie and I get there. We line up at 9 o'clock, and we're lining up, and we line up at F, at a door by F.
Okay.
And the line was short because there were so many doors, right? And then all of a sudden, so we're sitting there and we're waiting, and 9:30 is when the doors open, right? Mm-hmm. So 9:30, and before 9:30, somebody went to talk to security. Security's like, yeah, we're going to open the doors in 5 minutes. Great. So 9:30 hits. Doors don't open. So everybody, of course, the people that are in the front of the line are like, why aren't the doors opening?
Nerds start reacting.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want 100,000 nerds like bum rushing glass doors. No. Because the glass is going to lose.
Because Frankie's going to barrel through it like a juggernaut and just get it.
No, Frankie was very well behaved. But so then here's what happened. So 9:30 hits, nothing happens. 9:35, doors still aren't open. And we're like, okay, what the hell's going on? Then all of a sudden, a security guard comes out of the door and says, everybody has to go to section E. Everybody has to enter through section E only. So now they're saying everybody has to go through one set of doors.
Oh boy, yep, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, one set of double doors. Yeah. And of course, everybody's like, "What the?" And they're telling everybody all across the way, from like B all the way down to H.
Oh, so literally everybody. I think you meant just in F. Okay.
No. Everybody standing outside has to go to one set of doors in section E. So what happens when they announce that?
Oh, everyone starts bum rushing. It's not like, all right, everyone keep your spot in the line. No.
No. Nerd convergence. All together. So now you've got a mass, like, I swear to God, like, we could have formed, like, into the Blob, from the Blob movie. Like, we literally could have been, like, big, giant nerd blob.
Arms and limbs.
Like, our nerd version of Voltron.
Oh, yes.
Nerdtron.
I feel like that was in a cartoon somewhere. Family Guy.
Probably Family Guy. Family Guy did it.
Family Guy did it with everyone in the wheelchairs.
So anyway, so everybody bum rushes, and now you're all squished together and nobody's moving, right? Okay. And everybody's like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. There are easily 50 doors you can walk in, or something like that, and they're only putting everybody through 2?
Yeah, that reminds me when I was in Detroit for WrestleMania 23, literally, it was 80,000 people through 2 doors. There were only 2 doors open. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, which is absurd. Okay, so then everybody converges, right? And now we've all lost our places in lines at the doors we were at, so we all converge to go to E.
Okay.
2 minutes later, they open all of the doors.
There you go. That's how that works.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden, mad dashes all over the place. Everybody running. That was the first time I lost Frankie. But it was
Frankie scaling a wall.
It was only for 30 seconds. He was waiting for me on the inside.
Oh, so then waiting for you.
So that was the first time. Also, I met up with one of my coworkers there as well, because he was there. He was there for the con, so we met up.
Cool.
He brought me over to a cool vendor who had comic books for a discount. But anyway, so the comic floor was great. Get through Artist Alley. Artist Alley is a zoo.
Always.
Tons of people over there. But awesome artwork, and I'll share a little bit of that with you in a minute. So, because I bought the art stuff on day 2, bought the comics on day 1.
Smart move.
So, and actually, you know what? I'll share the art now, because then we're going to get into the gaming stuff, and then we'll stick to that. So anyway, so I picked up just a few things. There were, and it was only one spot that I grabbed stuff at. This guy was selling prints. His name is Greg Horn. Really, really talented artist. He was also signing everything that he said.
So let me, before you show, let me ask you a question. Are you, because I'm like this, where like you'll have the artists there, they'll have their drawings, but a lot of them are just prints, like repros, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, totally fine. But if you have a choice of a repro versus the exact same thing, but the original art, you're going to go for the original art?
I would go for the original art if I could afford it. But I'll be honest with you, I mean, the prices are pretty high.
Yeah.
So in most cases, I wind up.
But at least you got signatures.
Yeah, but they're all signed, which is
cool.
And I was happy with it. So anyway, so I got a few good ones. One of them I actually bought for Frankie. He didn't take home with him. I'll have to send that home. But I got this really cool
Frankie,
Spider-Man
you're never getting
in the black costume.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is really sweet.
That's nice.
So, yeah, really nice. And you can see Greg Horn signed it right there on the bottom. So that was really cool. For Frankie, I got him a really awesome-looking Spider-Gwen.
Oh, very cool. And, I just finally watched for the first time Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So now the whole Spider-Gwen thing makes sense to me.
Makes sense, which is really awesome. Okay, so this one I actually got for you.
Oh.
And I'm hoping you like it, but I got this really awesome Sub-Zero.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, that is fantastic. I love Sub-Zero. He's my next to Raiden. He's my go-to.
So next time I see you, this is coming your way.
Awesome, thank you. That's very cool.
Yeah, and then the other one that I got for myself, the video game one I got. Well, this is a hybrid of two of my favorite nerd things of all time. Okay. So it's Link.
Oh, wow.
And Gollum.
Oh, wow.
Holding the One Ring.
Oh, that is awesome. That is an amazing mashup.
So, yeah, this is a great mashup. And if you Link's got the One Ring in his hand. Gollum is like right over his shoulder. Yep. Yeah, this I thought was really sweet.
That is very cool. That's a good buy.
Yeah, so that was Greg Horn. Really, really good stuff. And then the other things that I got were a little bit more video game related. So I'll get to those in a minute.
Okay.
Because some of them are related to what happened while I was there.
Okay.
One of the things I got, and I also got this guy for you because I thought he was really cool. I just can't get his legs on. So there's this company that does this thing called Squibs.
Ooh, what is that? Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do these little things called Squibs.
Oh, wait a minute. I think you sent me the picture.
Yes, I sent you a picture of it. So it's basically they take these things and they do them with arms and legs, right?
Yes.
So I thought you would like this one. So I can't get the legs on right now, but I grabbed you a Nintendo cartridge with Boo.
I like that, and it's clear. I like that a lot.
It's a clear cartridge, so I thought that would be really fun. So,
thank you.
So I got you that. I didn't get one for myself because, again, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. It's one of those things like when I walk around the con, I'm like, I really like all of these things, and then I stop and I'm like, well, where am I going to put it all? And that keeps me. I know you just buy it and worry about it later. I'm like, me on the other hand, I stop for a moment, I think about it, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get it because I have nowhere to put it. Let's move on.
To be fair, I'm starting to think that way a little bit.
Which is good.
Even though I did buy a couple pops that I don't know where I'm going to put them, but be that as it may. Oh, one of which is kind of related to San Diego Comic-Con, which I'll talk about in a moment.
Okay.
So I'll talk about it now then. Oh, I don't.
I was going to say talk about it now because I'm going to get into the video game.
Yeah,
portion.
It's very briefly. So tons of course, all the San Diego Comic-Con, the Funko Pops that come out during San Diego and New York for that matter, and it's pretty cool because what I really love to see is going online and seeing all the rich people and the celebrities and those who have pull showing off all the special edition Pops that they cut the line for at the Funko booth. Yeah, I love it. Anyway. Since I can't go to San Diego and it's a hump to sometimes get these pops, I did find a website, which I'll give them a shout out, Big Apple Collectibles. Actually, a friend of ours, Jonathan, told me about. And they were selling San Diego Comic-Con pops. Like for example, they had the Big Bang Theory set when they were all dressed up as the Justice League in that one episode.
Ooh, nice.
Barry Sheldon was already gone and everything. Anyway, I have it on the other side of the room, so I don't have to show you, but I ordered the Kang and Kodos double pack, the aliens from The Simpsons. It glows in the dark. I think it was $30, maybe $40 for it. Like 2 days later, it already tripled in price.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
No, the thing about the conventions is the exclusives immediately go up in value after you buy them. Now I didn't pick up any exclusives because, again...
Yeah, it's a whole separate line.
Well, I didn't do research, and there's a whole separate line. I'm not kidding you. Funko had 2 booths on the opposite ends of the con just to handle that, and they had one of those lines that snaked.
Here's the thing.
It was crazy.
I've done that at I don't remember if it was the one you were there for. I did it at New York Comic Con where and it's probably going to be the same this year, you enter a raffle before the Comic Con, like, a month before, to possibly get a chance to win a ticket to get online to possibly buy a Funko Pop while you're there. By the time I got there, when I did it, I got there early enough, so I had a good spot in line. But then you see people offline trying to buy them from the people online. Like, are you getting this one? No, because usually allow like one per person. It's the exclusives are ridiculous. It's not even worth it 3/4 of the time. Sometimes maybe, but
you know what? And it depends to your taste. Like,
exactly.
In other words, like, if you want to buy an exclusive for yourself, it's one thing. But I know for a fact a lot of the people are buying these exclusives to sell them for triple the price as soon as they leave. So
it's garbage. But in any event,
anyway,
I want to ask you one more thing before you get to the video game part. Unless you have, So you mentioned it. You may mention it, but I think it's a good in between. The crowd. So what was it like, especially compared to maybe New York Comic-Con? Because I'm trying to get a feel of what San Diego Comic-Con is like. And New York is crowded. You're doing one of these the entire time through the Javits Center in New York.
That's exactly what you're doing there. except it's bigger and it's longer. So
that is fantastic.
And to give you a context, I don't know how many aisles there are at New York Comic-Con, but you know how they start 100, 200, 300, and everything. This one went to 5,700.
Wow, I think New York probably gets to 3,000, so that would be like 30.
Yeah, so it's about double the size.
Whew.
It's about double the size. And not only that, but like they run out in one direction, and then the walls going long ways are another.
Oh yeah, yep, same thing. All righty.
So absolutely insane. Definitely, like, there was an overabundance of stuff. Like literally, my eyes were burning from all the information I was taking in.
Oh, I do want to ask you one more thing that's not game related before we get to that section. You sent me a picture, and they look beautiful. The Ghostbusters, statues.
The Ghostbusters maquettes that they're making. Yep, they're not out yet.
A what?
Statues.
Oh, okay. Is that the official term, maquettes?
Yes, they're called maquettes.
Okay. They look gorgeous.
Yep. They also had a life-sized Michael Myers head bust.
Ooh. That
looked so realistic. It was like creepy realistic. It was really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. They also had a life-size alien there that was creepy.
Even better.
Really, really good stuff. And I can go on and on about all those things that I saw, but I want to get to the gaming stuff.
Let's get to the second half of this.
Yeah, so with the gaming stuff, I wasn't expecting to see a lot video game wise. I thought maybe I'd see a couple of things, but I was actually surprised with how much I did see. But that's also because a lot of the companies set up their booths, and it makes sense. You have everybody coming there for the convention, and again, a lot of these people are gamers, so it only makes sense.
The cultures go hand in hand.
Exactly. So it just made sense that you had gamers there. Yeah. The first thing that I ran across, which was kind of random, because I went to CGC.
Okay.
That was my first stop, because CGC is a comic grading company, so they grade your comics and they seal them up for you and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I brought 5 comics with me to get graded. I dropped those off, and immediately blew my budget just doing that. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So got a bunch of stuff graded, then moved on. And I noticed right next to them is Heritage Auctions. Now, Heritage Auctions is, you know who they are.
Yeah, well, not that. I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, exactly. So Heritage Auctions is a company. They're literally an auction company. And they auction stuff. They auction comic books, video games, and stuff like that. So I'm looking in the case at all the really cool comic books they have, like Amazing Fantasy 15, which is the first issue of Spider-Man, and on it they would have like what the estimated value is or what they think it sells for.
So that's
and
what it was. Okay, yeah, that's not a starting
exactly.
point.
No, it's not a starting point. Right. It's what their estimated sale value is. And so, like, Amazing Fantasy 15 had like $80,000 on it.
Baby.
X-Men #1, $50,000, so on and so forth. Because these suckers are expensive when they're in good condition. Fine. Inside the case, just so happened to notice a handful of video games. So, and we're talking sealed, brand new, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the prices, and I'm like, okay, these can't be right. I was like, absolutely ridiculous. So, for example, and I'm trying to think of all the ones that I did see.
I got them right. Oh, okay, yeah.
You have them in front of you?
I have the ones that you sent me, yeah.
All right, cool. So, like, for example, Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation, the PlayStation 1, sealed and graded at like a 9.8 or something.
Exactly.
Like
it's a 9.8 graded, sealed, in box, in CD case, Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, and the estimated value for it was like $5,000.
$4,000. But still, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't imagine paying $4,000 even for a sealed game. And Larry, since you have the other images up and I don't, why don't you run through them?
Yeah, so you sent 4 of them that blew my mind. One of which, though, actually, I'll tell that in a minute. But let's do this. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Sealed in box. Now, just the way the photo is, I think it was a 7.5. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay, all right. Not even autographed by Tyson.
Nope.
And looking for, probably going to sell for $2,000. I don't understand. I get it. It's because they had to re-release Punch-Out. No, that part. But so it's a special. But that's nuts. Donkey Kong Country 3 that was just re-released on the Nintendo online service. Inbox, I want to say a 9.4 it looks like. $5,000.
Yeah.
So Stanley finally getting his money's worth there.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 3, not Donkey Kong Country 3.
No, did I say Country?
Yeah, you said Country.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Donkey Kong 3, I apologize.
No worries, no worries.
And then the Piece de Resistance. Was this even the most expensive one there?
No, actually, I'll tell you a couple more before you get to that one. So there was a Mario Brothers, the original Mario Brothers on NES.
Okay,
not Super Mario. Yeah, Mario Brothers. And I don't believe it was not sealed, but it had the box and everything like that. 5.5 grade. Ooh. 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
I'm trying to remember which one there was Zombie Nation.
Hold on. 1,500? I can...
The original Mario Brothers.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying, 1,500, yes, pricey, but I can almost be like, okay, in box, if everything's still inside of it,
right,
maybe 1,500. All right, but like...
If you want to.
No, I get that part. Yeah. Great in there. All right, move on.
So Zombie Nation for NES, which is a hard game to find.
I don't remember.
I know
Zombie
you don't
Nation.
even know what it is.
Oh.
And I can't see the grade on the picture I took, but it was going for $5,000.
Wow, gosh, darn it!
And then you go for your piece de resistance.
I'm investing in the wrong things here with the pops.
You really are.
So, and probably in my opinion, such a garbage game. But that's just me being me. I hate this game. But Balloon Fight. NES, sealed. Again, I want to say that was a 9.4 if I'm looking at it correctly.
It's a 9.4 grade.
All right. Now, before I say what the price is on the sticker, I went to Game On over the weekend. And, my friends over there at Game On, great people. We've talked about them before. And I put a lot of trust in what they feel the values go for. They're pretty spot on. There's never like an exact number because it's going to vary what it is in New York versus where you are in California. So the prices vary, but they're usually pretty spot on. So when I told them this, Balloon Fight, 9.4, sealed, graded, in box, how much? They guessed, Brian did, $7,000. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm actually shocked you even went that high. But the one that Anthony sent me, which made me go, this is ridiculous, $15,000.
Yeah.
For such a crappy game, in my opinion.
I like Balloon Fight.
All right. Well, in my opinion, but
right. And you know what? That wasn't the only one that was $15,000.
Really? What other ones were that?
There was another one. There was a 9.5 graded Urban Champion for NES.
Okay.
For $15,000.
Were there any?
And that was.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. It was like I couldn't believe it.
Were there any Zeldas or Super Mario Brothers or?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because there was another guy, another vendor that was there.
Who was stealing all these and repricing them?
No, independent vendor. He was selling comics and other stuff too. He had graded games as well. Now I didn't get the prices for them; they were not on them. Okay. But he had 2 Legend of Zeldas graded at 7.0.
Ooh.
He had a Chrono Trigger at 9.4.
Wow.
Which made me really want it, but I wasn't going to even ask. He had a Super Mario Brothers in box, and I think it was the one you bought. It wasn't the one that came with the system.
Gotcha.
The one you bought. Graded at a 9.0, and I also think it was sealed.
Ooh.
And then he also had a Metroid for graded at a 7.0.
Okay.
Which is really interesting. So again, grading for video games is now becoming a thing. So
which I get.
Yeah, which I get. I mean, people are doing it for comic books now. It only makes sense. So if you are a game collector out there and you have some really good games complete and they're rare or whatever, it may be worth you getting them graded because the grading itself ups the value.
Oh, of course. So. Now, I mean, if you want to talk about rare, I don't know if it's going to be as rare as the one that I picked up here for you over the weekend. I just got to hide a couple spots here because I don't want to be rude at the store I bought it from.
Oh, Final Fantasy VII
on NES. On NES.
Yeah, you know what? As much as I want to keep it sealed, I'm gonna open and play that sucker.
Well, this bad boy is not factory sealed, so don't worry about that part.
Then perfect. I'm gonna open it up and play it.
Absolutely. Sure. Actually, I'm telling you, it's gorgeous. It's a white cartridge. Yeah. It's like a pearl white cartridge. There's a poster in it.
Wait.
That will go out this week.
But so that was Heritage Auctions. Literally, like the first thing I saw after I went to CGC, which was fun. A couple of other little things I saw. Like one other little thing I saw, which I thought was kind of cool, was when I ran across the Hallmark booth, because
Oh yes.
Hallmark had a booth there. They were showcasing. They always showcase their Christmas ornaments for the year, and they have 4 video game ornaments for this year. 3 of them are Mario related, and it's. So you got Mario standing on top of a pipe.
Yep.
A warp pipe. You've got Princess Peach with her umbrella, and then you've got a Bowser ornament. So those are all coming out this year. Also, the one that I found more interesting because I thought it was cool, they released an arcade cabinet of Defender.
Yes. I guess that's a new series. That's probably the second in their series because last year was Donkey Kong, wasn't it?
Yeah, last year was Donkey Kong. This year it's Defender. So I thought that was really cool.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, I'm just out of curiosity, what was that other thing in the picture that you sent me?
That was, I don't know what the hell that was. It wasn't video game related because I looked at it like 3 times over and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. It was Minecraft Ender Dragon. Oh,
that's cool. All right.
Yeah. So that's the other one. I didn't know what that was, so I just kept moving. It's like, oh, okay. So that was really cool. And then moving on to the actual booths. So
yes.
I thought the Capcom booth was really cool. They were showcasing a lot of stuff. I'm trying to remember in order what the hell I saw.
Well, that's what you live streamed, I think, from Capcom.
Yeah, no, I live streamed from Capcom. I'm trying to remember which game. Like, I'll mix up which games went where.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
So forgive me as I flip through my phone to find all this stuff. The Mortal Kombat cosplay was pretty cool. I saw.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Did I not take a picture of Capcom? I probably didn't take a picture of Capcom. I'm trying to remember if they were the ones that were doing the Medan game.
Man of Medan or something? No.
Man of Medan.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking forward to. It's the same company that created, the game with Hayden Panettiere. What is that horror game? Okay. I was just talking about it with somebody earlier today, too, on PlayStation 4. So I'm sorry. I'm getting everything mixed up.
No, it's all right. Man of Medan. Here we go. Man of Medan is coming out from somebody. Until Dawn, is that what you were talking about?
Until Dawn, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, so from the creators of Until Dawn, they had the next game, which is called Man of Medan. It looks really, really awesome. If you haven't played, if you have a PlayStation 4 and you haven't played Until Dawn, I highly recommend it. It's really, really cool. Mm-hmm. It's one of those butterfly effect things where the choices you make affect actually the game and as it plays out.
And that's the same as this one, where it's like a 2-player co-op, but you don't necessarily play together. You're just playing at the same time.
Right.
And people can die at any moment.
Exactly, which is part of the fun.
Yeah.
And Capcom was also, I think Capcom was the one that was showing off Monster Hunter.
Oh, yeah, Iceborne. Right? Iceborne?
What?
Iceborne?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they had a whole, whatever it was, they had a whole display out there. Mm-hmm. And they even had, they had somebody dressed up to take pictures with, which was really cool.
Oh yeah,
really buff woman. She was kind of scary. I did not take a picture with her. So that was Capcom. Right next to them was Blizzard. They had a huge TV screen on top, and they were showcasing Overwatch.
Yes.
Which is their big game.
Yep.
So that was really cool. Right next to them, we had Bandai Namco. And I'm trying to remember the stuff that they were showing.
Bandai Namco is Man of Medan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bandai Namco is Man of Medan. My confusion. So Bandai Namco had Man of Medan. Capcom had Monster Hunter, and they also had a couple of cabinets where you could play Resident Evil 5 and 6 as well.
The re-releases. That's cool.
Yeah, the re-releases, which was really cool. And then there was for Nintendo Switch. Ooh. They had a whole section set up there to play Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Game is fantastic.
Yeah, so if you didn't order it yet, I mean, it came out on Friday while I was at the con, but it gave everybody an opportunity to play it, and the line for that was super long. People were just dying to play this thing. So that was really cool. And then moving down the line, I'm trying to think, because like a lot of the video game stuff was kind of in one section.
Okay.
But then there were a couple others that were like really that were far away. So Square Enix was like really far down the line, but they had a really impressive booth, and their major showcase was Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, the remake. Okay.
So they were obviously they were showing it off, and then you were able to take a photo op on Cloud's motorcycle.
Oh, really?
Really cool. They showcased maquettes and stuff like that, which was really nice.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is a maquette an industry word?
No, they're called maquettes.
Well, I've never heard this term before, maquettes. I'm waiting for them to come to life. It's a tiny world.
Do a Google search.
I'm doing it right now.
Do a Google search for maquettes. So anyway, Square Enix was showing off Final Fantasy, which was really cool.
How do you spell it?
They had Maquette.
Oh, wow. Actually, you know what? I guessed that. That was correct.
Yeah. So for the remake, they've got maquettes of every main character.
Oh, okay. A sculptor's small preliminary model or sketch. So it's a prototype.
Whatever, maquette. And then, like I said, they were showing those things off.
That's cool.
They also had figures. They were showing They had some Final Fantasy figures.
Oh, nice.
Like regular store action figures.
Okay.
They also had some stuff for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, nice.
And for Dragon Quest. So they had a bunch of stuff there, which was really cool. And I really enjoyed. I thought the Square Enix booth was really put together well. It was very impressive. I'm trying to remember the game that you were able to play while you were there, because everybody had a game that you can try out, which was really cool.
Did you try any games?
No, I did not. I'm not kidding you. The lines for
I believe it. It
just wasn't worth it.
Totally believe it.
It really wasn't worth it.
It was like being at the Nintendo Power Fest.
Yeah, exactly. And then last but not least, in terms of the booth stuff, I managed to find Arcade 1-Up.
Oh, nice.
I managed to find Arcade 1-Up, and I got to see the Star Wars arcade.
Oh, that must look good.
Ridiculously impressive. And they have a riser to match it.
Yes, I saw that. They
have a matching riser with it. So I watched. There was some guy on it who wasn't getting off of it, so I just watched for a little bit. And they weren't busy. He was literally the only guy there, but he just wouldn't stop playing. So I'm like, fine.
Whatevs.
I took some video of him, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy. The end.
Cool.
So that was really cool, and that was the majority of what I saw. There were a few other things here and there that I saw. One of them was busts of, and I don't know if this was Sideshow collectibles or not, but they had busts of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which looked really cool.
Ooh, cool.
Very impressive.
Cool.
Oh, and then over at Hot Wheels, something I did not know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I actually heard about this recently, yeah.
Yeah, so Hot Wheels is releasing a Mario Kart racing set.
That's cool.
You know, it's the one with the races on the track.
Yep.
But when I watch the kids playing with them, it's so cool because it's like they press a button and the car just like flies through the whole thing.
Is it like an RC? Like an old RC?
No, not an RC at all. It's like just a regular car that gets propelled.
Oh, okay. I meant like the ones that are on the track. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No. This is one. No. It's the regular track, but it gets propelled.
I gotcha.
On the track. And it looked really, really cool, really fun, very smart for Hot Wheels to do that. Also, something really interesting that Nintendo did for a promotional thing at the event. Nintendo, I guess, signed a partnership with Southwest Airlines.
Oh, yes. Son of a guns.
And so as part of the promotion, on Wednesday, there was a flight from Dallas to San Diego.
Oh, that's where it was. Okay.
Yeah, it was from Dallas to San Diego, Southwest Airlines flight. They gave everybody on that flight a Nintendo Switch and a copy of Super Mario Maker 2 for free.
Oh, man, you get a Switch and you get a Switch. Oprah comes out. She's piloting the plane.
Everybody gets a Switch.
That's cool.
Yeah, which was really cool and awesome of Nintendo. And go ahead.
And that also explains how Southwest Airlines has they made an official level on Super Mario Maker 2. So that explains that part.
Exactly. And then that was pretty much everything I saw on the floor. And then to finish it off on the video game part, a friend of mine, who will remain nameless, who was working at the con for his company, managed to get me into the Nintendo Lounge.
Oh, so in other words, snuck you in.
No, he got me in. It's okay. Because the line was already closed for the day, but I wasn't planning on going. But he's like, "Hey, come by. You can check out the lounge, and then we'll go to dinner." So we did that tip, which was really
very cool.
So we went into the Nintendo Lounge. Super fun stuff going on in there. So, and they were showcasing a lot of the upcoming games.
Okay. So that was different from where the Marvel Ultimate Alliance thing was.
Yeah, the Marvel Ultimate Alliance thing was actually on the convention floor.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
The Nintendo Lounge was in the Marriott next door.
Oh.
Also next door, they had a pinball lounge, which I did not make it to.
Oh.
And it was free to play on top of that.
Ooh, even better.
Yeah. Which was cool. So anyway, going to the Nintendo Lounge, super large floor, very colorful, very fun. They had all kinds of photo ops going on for the games that they were promoting, and the games that they were promoting were Pokemon Sword and Shield. And for all of these games, they must have had 20 stations set up for you to play. Yeah, so there was plenty of opportunity to play, and they were staggering people in, so it wasn't crowded, which was nice. You got the opportunity to just walk around. So there were a bunch of people playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. There was a photo op for it as well, which was nice. They were also showcasing Marvel Ultimate Alliance in there as well, so people were playing that. Frankie played it for a little while. He was very happy.
Cool.
Yeah, he was very happy.
Does he have a Switch?
No, he doesn't have a Switch, but he may want to buy one now that he played Ultimate Alliance 3. And then after Ultimate Alliance, he did, they had Link's Awakening, the new
That's
Link's Awakening.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, that looked beautiful.
Does it?
Could not play it, just watched people playing it, and it was fantastic.
Oh, man.
Absolutely fantastic. And then after that, I saw there were two other games, I believe. Super Mario Maker 2.
Okay.
They had that there, so people were playing that. Yeah. But then they were also playing Luigi's Mansion 3, which at the con they announced it will be dropping on Halloween this year.
That's awesome.
Which is perfect. But they had Luigi's Mansion 3 playing, and they also had a nice Luigi photo op that you can do. So that was really fun as well.
Was it Luigi or Gooigi?
It was Luigi and Gooigi.
Oh, there you go. A twofer.
They had both. So they had a twofer. So Nintendo did a great job with the lounge, and when you go into the Nintendo Lounge, you get a couple of little goodies.
Oh, really? So even you were able to get these goodies.
Yeah, exactly. So I got these Pokemon Sword and Shield pins of the 3 new Pokemon.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, the starter Pokemons. Okay.
Yeah, so those are the new Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a lovely little Marvel Ultimate Alliance keychain.
Oh, back it up a little bit. Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Which is basically, I think it's the cover art.
Yeah.
I got a really cool Luigi's Mansion flashlight.
Oh, that is awesome. Wait, let me see the logo again. I know what a flashlight is.
3.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's
and then he's on the other side.
Oh, see that? Okay, see that's cool.
And it's super bright, too.
Oh, yeah, the damn LEDs.
Yeah, and last but not least, my favorite one. I got a Link from Link's Awakening keychain.
That's adorable.
Yes.
Man,
he is adorable in the game.
I don't know how that's gonna bug me till the day. I mean, I'm getting the game. Don't get me wrong, but that art style is gonna bug me.
No, you'll get used to it. Trust
me.
It's the same. You know what? People said that about Wind Waker.
True.
And it all worked out.
True.
So, yeah. So all in all, San Diego Comic-Con was a complete success. I had a really great time. I just think everything went well. Will I go next year? I don't know. The crowds got to me. The crowds got to me.
You texted me and you're like, this is hell.
I literally said, this is hell. I can't deal with this anymore. Kill me. And that was probably an hour in. On day one.
I don't remember you being that bad in New York, but it is what it is, I guess.
Well, I'm older and patient.
So let me ask you this. Just we don't have to go deep into it because there's a bunch of other podcasts. I'm sure Victims and Villains will do it. But again, being a fan of comic books, a fan of movies, your thoughts on Marvel's Phase 4 announcement?
I liked some of it. I'm not sure about some of it, only because it looks like they're oversaturating the market in 2021. I think there's like 7 things coming out. It's like 3 films and 4 TV shows, and I'm like, that's kind of a lot to take in. Okay. I'm also curious about a couple of the choices they made, but in general, to me, it's a solid lineup. I like that they're being a little bolder now because they've got their audiences to buy into the fact that they know how to make quality films with these characters, or, in my opinion, quality films. So I'm actually really hopeful because we're going to see things that honestly I never thought we would see.
True. And it's big time, and a lot of the TV shows are going to be on the Disney Plus, which they should just rename Marvel Plus at this point. And they're getting a lot of the actors to come back to play those in television shows. I think that's why you see a lot of saturation in 2021. You got to have a few television shows on there to, what I mean? Absolutely. Your thoughts real quick, because again, I'm being the casual person, meaning I don't know the comics too well. I get Thor 4, and it looks like Jane Foster's taken over as Thor, which is fine. And normally someone who's like such a stickler for the original, everyone's like, oh, Jane's getting the hammer. I'm like, guess what? Yeah. How long was Thor a frog? So, that's true. So that's going to be fine. And apparently there's a difference between Thor and the Mighty Thor, but I don't know. So you got that. You got Black Widow finally getting her movie. Blade, is that a TV show or a movie? They really didn't announce.
No, Blade is going to be a movie. Okay. And I was actually very excited when they announced Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, everyone was all.
Oh my God, he is such an amazing actor.
Poor Wesley Snipes. But I guess it's just they want to see Blade back, in the realm of the Marvel universe. Yes. They also announced Fantastic Four. Which wasn't a graphic. No. What they did was afterwards. It wasn't on the graphics.
They said they have plans.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Fantastic Four, the mutants. They said they didn't say X-Men. They said the mutants. And then of course the movies they didn't mention, which were like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Black Panther 2.
Yeah, they mentioned them.
They talked about
them. They mentioned them. So, what I was going to ask was, again, because I felt this way with Iron Man all the way back 11 years ago. I'm like, why are they making a movie about Iron Man? I'm asking you, for my own sake, what is the 10 rings? Chung something and the 10 rings?
Oh, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings.
Oh, okay. So I've been mispronouncing it.
So Shang-Chi was a comic book that came out in the 70s. It wasn't a very long run, but I think what they're doing with that is they're bringing again, I think they want to bring an Asian character into the Marvel universe. And you know what? And I'm all for it because I think it's interesting that they can now pull a little bit more obscure characters, and I think it's a smart play because they just because Iron Fist was just on Netflix. You don't want to do that one. Mm-hmm. I think this guy is going to be perfect for it, and not only that, they're going to introduce the Mandarin into the Marvel universe the correct.
Better be a better man. Oh, that made me so mad.
And no, and he will be the correct Mandarin.
All right, good.
So,
and finally,
so I'm looking forward to that.
Do you think they haven't announced anything like an Avengers type movie for Phase 4? But do you think eventually it's going to lead again to some sort of team up?
I don't know because I have a feeling. Well, I think there's going to be a team up. I don't know. If they're going to call it. I don't know if they're going to call it Avengers or not because I have a feeling. My theory is that they're heading towards the Secret Invasion storyline from the comic books, and I'm just wondering if it's just going to be a movie called Secret Invasion, and then we get a.
They're doing Eternals. Isn't Eternals kind of a team up?
Well, Eternals is a race. It's a race of people.
Oh, I'm thinking wacky races. Okay.
No, not wacky races. They're not all running. Okay. The Eternals are a race. They're a race of people.
Oh, I got
you.
Okay.
It's a group, but it doesn't include. It doesn't include everybody else.
Well, it looks awesome. That was announced. Jane Silent Bob reboots announced, which I'm very excited for. That looks very cool.
Kilmer's white man.
Yes, and what's her play? Melissa Benoit plays Chronic because in reboots nowadays they always have the gender swap. So and that just leads into what looks like a very funny movie.
I think it is.
So overall, what would you say this year's San Diego? How would you rate this year's San Diego Comic-Con?
I would probably, me personally, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I take the 2 points off because I think they've got to cut back on how many people go. Okay. I really do, and they got to get a little more organized. As I told Frankie when I was there, because I was getting very mad, and he's like, don't get upset. And I'm like, and I told him, I said, you don't understand. I said, organization is what I do for a living at my job. I was like, so when I see other people doing a bad job at it, it upsets me. Because I know what it takes.
What are you talking about, man? Just go get your comic books, okay?
It takes a lot of work. I know it takes a lot of work to do it, but still, I really like. And again, for 170,000 people, they kept it as orderly as they can. Could have been a little better, but overall, in terms of the content was outstanding.
Fair enough.
Really, everything was covered end to end. Every nerd should have left happy.
I'm sure they did. And with that, we're going to wrap up this special edition. Very awesome that we finally got a first-hand accounting of San Diego Comic-Con. So glad you somewhat enjoyed it. And next week we will be back to regular programming. I guess until I hit New York Comic Con, we'll see that. Also, remember if you're in the Tri-State area, if you're on Long Island, August 10th and 11th, the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo, which will have nowhere near as many people as San Diego Comic Con, but it still may be a little crowded. But we'll have a table there. We're going to be podcasting. We're going to try and live stream if the stream will hold, and we're going to have television there, games to be able to play. It's going to be a good time. Check it out. Get your tickets early because they're a little cheaper than at the door, and tell them the Retro Gamers sent you. It's not going to help you with the price, just gets our name out there.
Yeah.
And with that, Ant, I'm glad that you survived San Diego.
I said, thank you very much. I'm happy I survived it. I'm happy I survived this episode. I talked too much.
And with that, folks, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.